to our town, bringing their own audience wherever they may be, and that would bring traffic to our community and put Junction City on the global map. And as of last year, we've also had some international visibility because the keynote speaker we had is also a journalist, and he published about Harmony Fest in a newspaper in Ghana. And so we got some people in Ghana know about Junction City through Harmony Fest, and we are trying to build on that effort to see if we can bring international, a well-renowned international band here in Junction City. The budget, we'll try to keep it brief. The budget this year, the budget this year, I keep saying this year, next year. The budget for next year is 35,000, and that's including that band, the international band that we are anticipating. The ones that we have contacted so far, they are anywhere from 10,000 to $25,000, and we kind of set for a budget that's more like in the middle. And we're hoping with city's help, we'll be able to not only pay for a band to come here, but also have proper marketing. I believe one of the main reasons Harmony Fest has not reached even more audience than what it has done in the last couple years is because marketing has been all DIY, and we want next year to be a little bit different where we have investment in actual professional marketing. And you can see in your packet the detailed budget. I think I stapled them backward, but you guys would be able to, if you have it backward, please, I apologize. And the return on investment, as I've already stated, is having visibility, having our town in the global map as a place that is known for its diversity. Due to the military and Kansas State University and everybody else who come here to work those factory jobs that come from all over the place that end up in our city. So I believe we have what it takes to be known as the multicultural center of the Midwest. Thank you. Any question?
Who's this international band?
We have several. One of them is called Compa Creole, and we also have Zenglin.
Can you spell both of those, please?
Zenglen.
Okay.
And then the other one is Konpa.
Thank you.
R-E. K, not Saka. K-R-E, I'm thinking in Creole. K-R-E-Y-O-L, I'm sorry.
I got it. Thank you.
And we have one third, and it's called Tiansito. Tiansito.
Those are the ones that we're working with.
That we have contacted so far for the court. Thank you.
Are there any more questions?
Did you get any commitment from the CVB yet?
For this year, no, and for next year, we haven't received any response from the county yet. Oh, and I apologize because last year we were not included in the budget, and I attached this year's budget to see if the city would provide some support for this year's Harmony Fest because we missed the budget session to request for this year's Harmony Fest, and we would like to be considered for that as well, if that's possible.
says city 5,000 on the last page, CVB 5,000, and the first club 5,000.
Yes, that's what we have it. We have it to where the organization itself is putting 5,000, and we requested 5,000 from the CDB, and we're hoping to get 5,000 from the city. And we have made efforts to receive sponsorship from local businesses. So far, we have not been successful. We have not heard from our previous local sponsors.
So the last paper is for 2026?
Yes,
The rest
because
of the
we-
packet is 2027?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, please.
What did we do last year?
I believe 3,500.
What I thought.
And we were a little short. That's kind of why I asked if we could get more.
Is there any further discussion or questions? Not discussion, question?
None at this time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to present.
Thank you. So moving on to B, Public Works, Water, Sewer, Sanitation, and Stormwater Budget Discussion.
Madam Mayor, Commissioners, we're here to present Public Works' budget. Public Works consists of 6 different departments. 2 of them are in the general fund, which are the airport and the street, and the other 4 are in the enterprise funds, which is fee structure. So we're going to begin with the airport budget. Under contract category 70, under contracts, the gas utilities is at 100, it's gone up to, at 131, 131%, and that's due to increase in the gas, just in case we need that out there. You got various hangars that we got 3 hangars out there. We got the big hangar that we have the one that Lifestar's in, and those are the ones that we take care of as far as being able to maintain that in the terminal building. So that's gone up from 2,978 to 3,000. What else is there? Under the other thing that's gone up is the 0742, which is the maintain the runway and grounds, gone from 3,000 to 4,000. That's a 33% increase, and that's due to lights and those type of things, bulbs that we have to buy for the runway, for the grounds, that type of thing. The biggest expense would be 0749, which has gone up 225%, and then it's gone from, let me look here, 200,000 to 650,000. The reason that's being, number one, is that we've got the tip down beacon light. That's 190,000. You about 20,000 gallons of Jet A fuel, and about 7,500 gallons of 100 low lead for the planes. Those are the additional items in there, as well as runway design, which is another 500,000. So when you add that up, that's gonna, for the upcoming year, that's what we're looking at as far as being able to maintain that portion of it.
So the fuel's just to have available for.
For the Lifestar, yeah, for Jet A,
We raised our prices on that stuff out there for the. planes
yeah,
as
they
well.
have raised it to $650 for the unlead, because that's what the last going price was for the 100 low lead. Jet A is basically around $5 a gallon for that. So depending on how
Money,
the,
or are we breaking even?
as far as we're looking at the revenues, and Jamel could comment on that, I don't hardly see those. It looks like we're doing all right as far as our flowage fee. We do charge Lifestar an additional upcharge for their fuel, for the Jet A. And so that's where we get the additional funding for that.
We're not getting rich, but we're not getting poor either.
Right.
We're not going broke, and we're not getting rich.
No, hey. can I
We're at
jump
least
in real
breaking
quick?
even?
Do you mind if I jump in?
Okay.
Mind if I stand up for a second? Hey, go to YouTube, will you? And type in STOL. The airplane one. Valdez. Okay, is that one there?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Go about 3/4 of the way through, you probably know where he's at. After this ad. Okay. He's at our airport. That's Valdez, Alaska. This pilot has his shop on our airfield down in Junction City. He went to Alaska a month ago and beat every Bush pilot up there on the short takeoff and landing competition. First place. And his mechanic took second place. So next weekend, they're having a practice STOL competition on our airfield, because next year, the week before Freedom Fest, we're going to work with the STO Commission and have a full-blown competition on our airfield with about 100 pilots coming in to take part in this competition. So that's one reason we need an increase to get to cover the fuel costs and stuff for this event, which we recoup some of it with all the competition stuff coming in. So that actually just happened this past month. We already had our meeting with them, and it's already being worked for next year with our marketing director, Katie. He actually flew that plane up to Alaska and wanted to flew it back. Thanks, Andy.
That
For the
seems
airport,
exciting.
that's
How
a
does
lot.
that tie into the runway? When does the runway work begin?
Well, the runway work is going to be done
In,
next,
28?
28?
27,
Oh,
maybe the middle part of 2027. It depends on the congressional funding when we get the congressional funding. But right now, they're working on design. We will get that reimbursed to us.
so it'll
for
be
the
done
design.
before the week before Freedom Fest for this?
That's what the plan is, right now, with the information we have, yes.
Yeah.
What happens if we buy all this fuel and the event doesn't happen because
Oh, we
the
wouldn't buy the
runway's
fuel
all
till
torn
it's already
up?
We
coordinated.
can only, we can only hold 2,000 gallons of 100 low lead. That's all I can put in that tank, so.
On an average month, sans shenanigans, how much fuel are we typically turning over, would you
I'd be
say?
lucky if I'd be lucky if I do 800 gallons
Okay,
of 100 low lead. Now, for the month, for Lifestar, we average about 3,000 gallons a month, depending on how many calls they get. If they don't get the calls, that's not gonna happen, but typically that's what we get. So that's why I'm saying, what we have been doing on a flowage fee for the year, 20,000 gallons for J and about 7,500 gallons for 100 low lead for the regular planes.
Do other municipal airports make a profit off of gasoline?
They try, yeah, they try, they can. The problem is with airports, it's easy for them to fly from here to Manhattan or Emporia to get gas 50 cents a gallon cheaper and then fly back, and that's what they do. It's that tight of a commodity for the area, for the region.
That's what I heard when I had a tour out there. They would go to Harrington where it was cheaper as a, okay, right.
Is there any more questions for the airport?
Plan for the airport coming up with the grants and stuff we got coming, so.
I'd like to circle back on a data point I had brought up previously. I think a lot of people simply don't understand what our airport does and does not do, or does and does not support. I would like us to put together some data to help people better understand why this municipal airport is important in Junction City, what it does and does not do. I think most people just drive by it and then don't understand it. So I'd really like to see that data at some point.
Maybe someone from the airport board could give a presentation some night.
Yeah, we can get that working, because the new airport, part-time airport manager starts July 1st.
Yes.
Ken Mortensen. And we can definitely work with him, get all that put together and come back and brief.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. There's a lot of nice things to share. That's a good idea, yeah.
Any other questions for the airport?
Nope.
Okay. The next one, the general fund would be the street department. Everything basically is the same, other than when we get down to, when you talk about the medical, and the medical's up 82%. Workman's comp's up 32%, Social Security 25%, Medicare 25%. So that's right, but the overall is only 4% as far as the personnel stuff is for that issue.
Yeah.
Under commodities, the biggest expense is landscaping. It goes up from 1,500 to 2,000, which is a 33% increase. Landscaping is all the erosion material that I use when we do grading, and if we skim the area, we make sure we have to do the erosion protection so we don't get that on city streets. The next thing that's high is 0646, operational supplies. That went up from 8,000 to 20,000. Operational supplies are all our forms that we use on the road, all that type of material that we use to be able to form the curbs, gutters, those type of things, driveways, whatever we need to
That's
do,
like lumber for
sidewalks.
forms, concrete, all that kind of stuff, okay.
The next one that is high is, let me look here. Which one is that one? Jason Gravel is the same.
Traffic signal maintenance.
Yes, that becomes, that's due to,
734.
that's due to buying parts for the traffic signals. All that electronic software costs a lot more money. Some of that stuff that we get, some of it is obsolete. So we have to buy new stuff and be able to make things work. If you ever look inside of the traffic cabinet, you'd be surprised what's inside that. You got a conflict monitor, you got controls for video detection, those type of things, to be able to tell, to switch traffic over, those type of things are in there. We are working with the MPO on a TERS program to be able to change out all the traffic signals, modernize traffic signals from 6th Street, from Eisenhower all the way to Washington, and from Washington on 6th, from 6th Street all the way to 9th Street. So that's a $380,000 project. So we'll be working on that. And then we also, I believe with the SS4A that the fire department has, we'll be able to work on some stuff in there as far as preemption devices for the traffic signals.
How long does this technology last before it becomes obsolete?
Probably 5 years.
Really?
Just like anything else, just like your computer and everything. Those things wear out, you get new stuff and you have to buy new equipment.
Is there any grant opportunities for signalization stuff?
Yes, we look into that. I mean, we're looking at, right now, we looked at that TERS program with MPO, so we're able to upgrade our equipment that way. So we'll put that new set in and we'll figure out what we gotta do from there.
Very good.
Let's see.
What does that mean, tourist program with MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization?
It's Transportation Emission Reduction Strategy. It's part of the Carbon Reduction Act.
Thank you.
So that's one of the things that the MPO has. From the contract side, see, another big
Hey,
increase.
Sam, just want to make sure you understand something. Like when PDOT comes in, they put the signals in, they will usually pay to put the signals in. Afterwards, we're responsible to maintain them. Means all that electrical stuff comes back to us.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just curious how often things are gonna be obsolete and
I've
we
seen,
can't
that's a good
fix
question.
them.
I've seen signals go 10 years with nothing. I've seen brand new ones get fixed 3 times in 5 years, 3 times in 3 years. I mean, it's hidden, it's just like you can.
As far as, let's see what else we got. There's not a whole lot more that increased other than, you might see a little bit more on the engineering services. That went up 22%. That's because they design all our stuff. As far as when we request, we don't. If you look around town, as Mr. Zimmerman has put up there, you saw all the work that we've been doing as far as road repair, that type of thing. Those, that's what they do for us as far as being able to do those services for us. So that's what that increase is for.
So if I'm looking at this correctly, we're budgeting for a tick over $500,000 for next year. But looking at the last couple of years, in 2025, we spent almost $2 million, and this year thus far, we've spent almost $1 million.
Back in '25, they put some of the wrong items in some of the areas as far as recording was engineering services versus what was used for basic contract for street maintenance.
So those numbers are from a misallocation of funds?
On that one, it particularly was, as you can see, if we,
Is that what happened this year as well, that we've budgeted for
I have to go back
2026?
and look through there to find out what is right and what isn't right.
My concern is that it seems as though each year we're budgeting for what we end up using twice over. My 550 isn't palatable, but planning for 550 and us potentially spending closer to $1 million is even less palatable.
Well, I understand that, but I have to see how the bills are put. Sometimes when they get the bills, they don't always ask me what account they go in. I have to go back through and look. And if I don't go back and check to find out where some of the allocation has gone to, that's what throws some of these numbers off. Because services rendered for being able to design in that is a lot different than some of that road repair that they tack on because they got a bill from Schilling or from Bayer and they put that in the account because they think that's part of it.
What are the projects that are projected for the 550 for next year?
Well, we also got to finish up on Westwood Boulevard. We've got 27th Street maintenance. We got those type of projects that are out there.
So this 550 is representative of all anticipated projects at this time, or do we have contingency for unexpected?
No, this is considered for this year, coming up for 27 projects that we got in 2027.
The Westwood, that's in the 26 budget, isn't it?
Part of it is, but then we split it up in 4 different categories. So by the time we get to 27, we're going to have to do something different again. And then we've got the other street maintenance. You've got Adams Street from 6th Street all the way to 18th Street. That's completely redesigned because we're trying to figure out how to get that water off of there. Franklin, again, from 6th to Chestnut, that was all part of the 26 that we pulled out because there was an issue of being able to drain that water out of there. Because it doesn't do us any good to do a mill and overlay, put it on top of concrete, and then 5 years later, we're back doing the same thing again. We got to figure out how to get it drained. We also talking about doing Eisenhower all the way from 11th Street back to 17th Street. We got to figure out how to get that drained. We got a big storm drain there. We can figure out how to be able to relocate storm drains to be able to drain that water off of there. Again, because you can see what happened. We did that probably about 5 years ago. Maybe not even that, and you see where the road's at right now because we can't get the water drained. You got potholes left and right.
Is this related to that stuff, like I saw the videos on Facebook, all those drainage issues that I sent you, people were taking the videos? I thought so.
Yep. So those are the things that we're looking at that they do, the engineering services they design for us.
Back to Westwood, are we gonna finish that project in the fall this year completely?
We won't be complete. We're gonna go from 17th to Record, and right now we're doing all the concrete work. Once we do that, we'll put it out for bid for the asphalt work to do that from there, if we can get something right. And then we will pick it up from 17th Street to 18th Street, because there's a big storm drainage project that goes along with that. So that's why we've broken it up in several different spots, because we had no bidders.
Right.
So we're done by the end of 27.
Yeah, we should be with everything.
The 17th to 18th will be done in 27.
If they get done with the concrete work in time, and we're able to get a asphalt company to be able to do that. We don't know that. I mean, depending on where we end up, if we end up toward the end of October, then that's not gonna happen until 27. So just depending on where they get done,
26
yeah. Well, yeah, but I mean, they're not gonna lay asphalt
after that.
after October, because typically what happens, they start breaking down once the weather gets cold enough, that they're not gonna fire up a plant because of the cost of heating the oil, that type of thing, they'll shut it down. So it won't start till 27.
So all you're doing the curb work now?
Curb and the interchange in the medians, doing all that work, getting that taken care of.
Who's doing that?
The bid will be out on the 30th, then we'll find out.
Okay,
It's out for bid right now.
I'd like to touch upon this engineering point a little more. I understand why the numbers might be skewed. It's still a little concerning. I would expect us to utilize historical data to forecast future budgeting to a degree. If there's a way for us to get additional information to better clarify the actualized spending of this year and the year prior, I would be interested in seeing that, just to make sure it aligns with what we're forecasting with, especially because I feel what we've seen this year and last year was life happens fast, which results in change orders, which results in engineering fees. And again, although 550 is quite a pill to swallow, I'd also not like to swallow 20 change orders worth of engineering fees either.
Yeah, but typically, change orders go back on the project, which would then go into, let me look here.
So you feel with
It would
100%
go into contract
confidence,
operations, which would be 0797.
so you feel with 100% confidence as far as this engineering line item goes, nothing is going to come up in 2027?
I'm not gonna guarantee you that, because I don't know what's underneath all this, all the roads that we get into.
Precisely.
And so when you do that, I don't know. I mean, from my standpoint, I feel that it'll work. That number is a good number. But to be able to forecast what we run into that we don't know about when we design something, because we don't, remember, we didn't put these roads in place. These roads were placed a long time ago.
You're preaching to the
So-
choir. That is exactly my concern, is we've seen that a lot, is we dig and we go, oh crap, that wasn't there, that was supposed to be there. So, given I don't have historical data to make me feel good about this number, I'd like to see a better historical data that speaks to a contingency plan for these measures.
Well, basically, you've also said that some of the expenses get categorized improperly.
Correct.
That is concerning.
Why is there a system that when the bill gets sent to finance, is categorized by you as to where it would go?
That I could not tell you.
Mr. Wilcox, could you speak to that?
What's the question? Sorry.
Commissioner Panera, could you reiterate?
He said that some of that historical.
Bills aren't charged properly to your.
GL code isn't charged the correct
Not
GL
coded
code.
right. So why,
So I could,
I know it was pre your service, I think.
25's on me.
29,
25's on me.
25's on him.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, the 1.9 number, Mr. Rivera said that that's not correct.
I was
How
trying to
did
get,
fix that?
I was trying to get our accounting system to pull up to verify that.
What GL code you looking at, Ray, that you're talking about?
That is 0728. 0728.
It's just concerning to not have historical data guiding this choice and a
Well,
lack
you're
of
also relying on the
contingency.
experience of the engineering company and the director that's been there for many years, and know roughly what prices are. We're doing more and more projects now than we ever did since I started.
That's my
Now we
concern.
now have some money to do some things with. So, I mean, engineering says what it's probably gonna cost as a bid, and that's how they put it out the bid, and we see if the bids are aligned with that or not.
Yeah.
And then when you open the ground up, it may be a different story, just like an old house. Your wiring may be terrible, your pipes may be terrible, they do the best guess they can, and there's gonna be some change orders, it is what it is.
Yeah, that's,
So, they have aligned their budget for that, to allow for some contingency as well.
Yeah, but it is concerning to hear that
I get it, the one number, it stands out, and something's not right there. And Mr. Wilcox
that
will
it's not being
figure that out for us.
appropriate.
Get back to us.
it's a twofold point of concern. Number one being the historical data to give us a baseline, but the second point of concern is contingency. It sounds like this 550 is mostly accounted for already. I'm additionally concerned that we will find ourselves spending beyond this 550. That is all. I hope that we can find a way to address those concerns. I'm not saying that there's a lack of integrity or a lack of consideration. I just like to have numbers. That's all.
The other thing that I really noted too is that it's a contract service, and I don't think I've ever seen the contract, the engineering contract, how that's structured.
So what you're referring to is, which I understand this, is the contract, there's a term for it. The contract that the engineer firm has with the city,
Yes.
with the rate, okay.
That's what I'd like to
I
see.
think you- Yeah.
I agree. Thank you.
Okay. Is there any more questions as far as streets? Okay. Then we will move to the enterprise fund. First one off we will run into is the water utility fund, and we're gonna, me and Jamil will tag team this. I have the maintenance portion of it,
Halfway
Maybe-
down the third page,
third page.
yeah. A little bit.
Me and Mr. Wilcox will tag team this one. I have the maintenance side of it, and Mr. Wilcox has the administrative side of it, and the operations side of it. So as far as personnel, the thing that's gone up, I believe, is the medical side of it, 0535, 12%. The rest of it is under. We've got, when you move down to commodities, 06-110, it's gone from 1,200 to 2,000, which is 67% increase. That's to buy certain chemicals, chlorine, that type of thing, when we open up a pipe, have to chlorinate the water, those type of things that we do. Next thing would be landscape, that went up 20%, it went from 2,500 to 5,000 again. When we dig the ground up, we have to be able to put erosion control on that, so that's what that's all about. 0646 operational supplies, it's going from 90 to 120,000, that's all your fittings that we buy, the clamps, the pipe, all that, the additional stuff that we buy for the water. So that's what that's about. 0652 would be next, which would be tools, and that went up 20% from 10,000, 12,000. That's the shovels and all the rest of the pipe cutting tools, all the stuff that we need to do to be able to do that work. Miscellaneous 0670 is miscellaneous safety supplies. That's for signs and all sorts of other attachments that we need, vests, those type of things for the guys.
They're like cones, safety cones and
Correct.
glasses and whatnot.
Right, for all the workers, staff that we have for them. And then the next thing that's gone up is 14% is 0684, that's flags. It's gone from 35 to 4,000. That's because the flags we pay every one call $1.33 for every locate that we do.
So these are utility flags,
Yes.
okay.
So that's what's in that category as far as commodities. And if you have any questions, I can
Yeah,
answer those.
let's talk about the flags a little bit more. Run that by me one more time. What's that call rate?
It's $1.33 for every locate that we do.
So that's per flag, or
No, that's what the cost is to do. The
Service to go
locate.
down a market area.
Right,
costs $1?
33 to call, the Lifestar charges us, I mean, not Lifestar, 811 charges us $1.33 for every locate that we do.
Is that, we're talking dig save?
Yes.
That's
That's cheap.
cheap. Yeah,
When you do 350 locates, that's not really cheap.
compared to engineering.
Yes,
Mhm. Wow. So we're budgeting for 4,000. I'm gonna do some terrible math in my head real quick. That's about 3,000 and change of these instances that we're accounting for.
That's part of it, that's half of it. Because the other half, you'll see that in the other half in sewer. Because I gotta buy different flags for sewer. Sewer's green flags, water's blue flags.
Okay, so there will be multiple flag line items for this circumstance.
It'll be, when we talk in 1,500 in sewer collection, you'll see the same item for flags. Because I gotta buy green flags for sewer, blue flags for water. And right now, we're talking water, so that's why we're buying the blue flags, and that's what it's costing.
Understood. Thank
That's
you.
paint and flags.
I got a couple in my yard from when I bought my property. If y'all want them, save a couple dollars.
I mowed over one or two myself.
Well, you said it, Mr. Bernier. Continue, Mr. Ibarra.
Okay, let's go to contract services. The next thing that's gone up is 0746, maintain, repair vehicles. That's gone from 4,000 to 6,000, that's 50% increase. And then other services, 0749, it's gone up 20%. That's from $1 million to 1,012,000. Basically, what that is all that work that we do on the water lines, valves that we've been doing. Every year we do that. We try to maintain a section of the city to try to get where we need to be to make sure the system's running correctly. We're still trying to figure out how to separate the high from the low to make sure that when our guys go out, we just don't shut down a whole city block. We can shut down a certain area and be able to handle it that way.
I'm sure our people would appreciate that.
How many more valves do we have to replace?
That's hard to say because you never know. I mean, some of those have been, you got right now, basically you got about 2,400 valves in the city. Okay, now,
How many have you done so far?
that I couldn't tell you right off the bat. I can find that number for you, but here's the problem. Even though we exercise these valves, and they work fine, the next time we got to an old valve, nothing says that the backing pump, the backing or the gasket in there is gonna hold. And sometimes that happens. We'll go out and we got a main break, we turn that valve and that valve leaks. Now we have to replace that valve. So, without knowing what's gonna happen to that valve, it's hard to say what's gonna happen. But our biggest issue is try to isolate and understand how the high system and the low system are interconnected and try to separate that out.
You probably plan for at least 25% replacements every time.
Correct. And then again, we have the lead and copper rule too as well. So when we do dig it up and then all of a sudden we look down and we see a four-way connection, it's got a lead fitting in there, I gotta get it out of it. I don't have any other choice because I gotta replace, according to the state and the feds, we're supposed to try to replace 3% of it every year.
What
That's
percentage?
3% of the system.
Say 3 or 30? 3%?
Yeah, every year. So that's part of what we're doing right now too, as we're doing this.
Now, do you have a different, also an engineering line item here separate from the other one?
Correct.
That's almost 100 valves a year. That's planned. That's not the unplanned ones.
Right. What that is just for just all the strictly for the water stuff that they designed for us. Or if we run into an issue and find out we've got something connected, shouldn't be connected, and try to see how we best able to shut it and move it around and be able to put it on a line that will supply the water properly. Instead of a 2-inch line, we can go to a 6 or an 8-inch line, maybe even bigger than that. Make those tie-ins.
Mr. Ibarra, so on occasion, when you dig up and you replace a valve, simple question, is there one, like you said, then you seal it back up and it breaks and you got to dig it up again? Is that how that?
No, if it leaks like that and we can't get it shut down, we'll have to dig that whole valve out, take that valve out, and put the brand new valve in.
No, I'm saying, even though when you put the brand new one in,
Mhm.
is it adaptable, so you don't have to dig in again and replace it? No.
Correct. That's the whole process that we're trying to do, is put these new valves in, and then we'll be able to turn them. Because what we try to do is be able to turn the valves every year so that we can keep them lubricated. So that we don't have these type of issues. Half these valves have not been turned for many years. And so that's why we do have some of these problems that we have.
How do you turn them? Because there's a.
You just take a pipe, you just take a valve turning wrench and you turn them and
Down into the-
exercise them that way.
Has there been occasion where you go in and do it twice? That's what I'm trying to understand. Where you've gone down, fixed it, J&K does their, then there's another problem, they go back in. You understand, has that happened?
Not typically, it has not happened on a new valve.
Okay.
Most of this are the old valves that we have in the system right now. And let's see. So that's the majority of what we have for contract services in the water utility fund, and I'd be happy to answer any questions you got.
What is dues?
Like different organizations that we're going to, APWA, water,
Union entities and such?
you got KMU, those type of,
What's the capital equipment outlay? 300,000.
buy some more equipment as far as being able to buy another, it's a shared deal between streets, water, and sewer. So we were looking to buy a brand new Mini, a Bobcat, and some dump trucks, additional dump trucks.
We have a road grader, right?
Yes, we do.
Do we have dustless sandblaster?
No. And the reason we don't have a sandblaster is you gotta use a certain type of sand. That's silicon, some kind of black dust that they use. You have something special for that. You just can't use regular sand anymore. For health and safety reasons.
So I have a capital improvement question. I don't know if it's for you or for Mr. Wilcox, but we had mentioned about a 5-year plan for capital improvement, maybe looking into next year. But I didn't know in all these budget conversations if we have a capital improvement plan that addresses these different big equipment purchases, or is that, so when I read capital improvement here, I don't know if you have any comment about that, Mr. Wilcox, or not, just to help me understand how that could work, or if it's working already.
There was a capital improvement plan created, but it was 2017 when it was done. We have one that we're trying to upgrade, or not upgrade, update. But when we get it updated, things like this in the future would be included in the capital improvement plan.
So do we need to have something in the budget? So again, I don't understand how all this works. So do we need to have something in all the budgets of Public Works and Fire Department where they put money away, and then there's this 2026, 2027, 2028, so
They generally do that under either if they're buying a vehicle, it'd be under capital equipment, and if they're remodeling, it'd be under capital improvement.
so that's
it's-
that's the plan for the future?
That's the plan for the next
savings
budget
accounts?
year. No, it's not, they're looking to expend it in the next year.
I'm sorry.
They're looking to expend it in the next year. So Ray, I don't know what line item he was on, but let's just say he was $300,000 in capital equipment. He's looking to purchase $300,000 worth of equipment in 2027.
So and we can talk later if it gets too complicated, or I have too many questions and don't understand it. But do we have that, and you may have already answered it and I'm not listening very well. Do we have a big savings account where we,
We're approving budget authority for them to buy equipment as needed.
Yep.
They have some ideas, sometimes things come up, things break that they already have, and things are okay. But he knows he's got a certain amount of money that he can spend. You may want to buy this other one as an initial thought, but he needs this other one right now. So he may do that one this year, then push that other piece of equipment off for next year. So we're just giving them budget authority to have monies available should they need this or that.
A perfect example is a garbage truck or a dump truck, like winter plow, like you just did last year. We ordered that last year, we still don't have it yet. So you gotta be able to get those orders approved immediately, even for it to come in next year. So Corey and his police department has money set aside every year for 1 or 2 police cars, and that's how that works.
so in that Columbia Capital Fiscal Sustainability Plan, there's an example from Manhattan, and it plans 5 years out, but I didn't know if we're putting money into budget 5, I didn't,
It's tough to do with the equipment with what he does all the time. Things are kind of up and down as far as.
We do try to do something like sanitation, like Mr. Zimmerman says, sanitation truck. Life expectancy on that is 7 years. So we try to rotate that stock out that we've got, and then we put it in the budget for those 7 years. Plow truck, same thing, big plow truck. It's probably good for maybe 7 years as well, because all the salt and all that we put on that truck, and it's doubled, because once you do that, we also use it as a dump truck. All right, all that pounding that it takes, we plan out every 7 years that we rotate one of these trucks out and try to buy a new one. So we try to put it in the budget for that aspect of it.
The last one we bought, I think, was almost 20 years old.
so we actually do this system, but what I'm seeing is just a visual, is
We do it by separate GL,
Right.
separate fund category, like water, enterprise, don't mix with like streets and his. Manhattan probably does one in general, that's how they want to do it, but we don't, we maintain it by department.
okay, all right, thanks.
Do we have a high-pressure power washer?
We have one on the jet truck, on the vac truck,
Which truck?
the vac truck,
Okay.
the vacuum.
What about, we talked about the scrap building machine that takes 6 people to work. Are there smaller ones that 2 people could operate, that we could deploy that as needed and trade off the one that's not being used?
You wouldn't get a very good one. Let's put it that way. I mean, they got it where you can do it by cold pour. Wouldn't last very long. I mean, what we've got is really good, but it's just a matter of fact, it takes that many, because you gotta, by the time you got somebody out there out front blowing out that crack, making sure it's clean, and then the other guys are coming back, putting it in and filling it up, and you got the guys back there doing traffic control. It just takes a bunch of guys. With the staff I have, I'm not able to do it. I mean, right now, this is what Streets has got. Streets has got 1 supervisor and 7 maintenance workers. They got 8 guys to take care of 375 lane miles of city road. That's not very much.
And that's if they show up every day. I mean,
Yeah.
you got vacations, you got medical
Right.
appointments, family issues, it's,
So do we need to
You
open
got
up more?
17.5 miles of alley, gravel and concrete,
Is
okay?
it because we're not staffed? Do we need to open up more positions? What is it?
Well, again, here you go. You're talking budget.
Yes,
It's gonna increase our budget as far as wanting more staff.
yes.
But that's what Streets got. That's all they've got. They got 1 traffic tech. This is the guy that takes care of maintenance on the traffic signal, and he's got to paint, he's got to put up signs. 1 guy. I got 2 electricians, but they do different things. They work on the traffic signals, they do buildings around the city, they do all that,
street lights, everything.
right? And I got 3 mechanics that try to take care of all this stuff that we've got. And then I got 1 guy's in stormwater.
And truthfully, we only had 1 mechanic for years. We were able to hire 2 more to help.
Right.
Are
That's how
you,
bad it's been.
are you fully staffed?
Not,
Are you fully staffed?
I mean, for what I've got there, I'm short in utilities right now, about 1 or 2 guys in utilities, but that's what we've got. I mean, when you talk about what you've got for streets, alleys, that's not even taken care of. If you want sidewalks done, curbs done, I mean, so I don't have the staff to do it all.
Right. What about, like even out here in this alley, we got this big crack in the alley by the parking lot.
We are working on that for the 26th Street, for maintenance, for the alley project. We want to redo, we want to take it for that half alley that's been done, all the way down here, and redo that parking lot at the same
I'm
time.
saying that the crack filling preserves the life of this alley, wouldn't it?
In that particular case, we can do that, but like I said, we'll have to,
When we're talking about the cost of the manpower, the women power, whatever, versus the longevity of the concrete.
correct.
And I'm just saying that we've got a lot of places that those tracks out there are just.
Right, I mean, we got 2 options. We either hire more employees to take care of that, or you contract that work out, which would increase the contract.
So we just had a real nice program today with Josh Blanding, who's a state employee for veteran employment, I forgot the R is, but, and Buffy was there, our new HR person, Buffy Starks was there, and so she learned a lot of stuff. There was an incredible amount, and she learned it. I'd love for her to be able to engage with everybody on what she learned. But for instance, if we're not certified yet as a SkillBridge community, if we can get that done by October 1, then, so Buffy has all the information, and then maybe that would be helpful for some opportunities for, so, okay. All right, thank you.
Speaking of alleys,
Correct.
since you brought it up, are we ever gonna do anything with residential alleys?
Yes,
So,
we actually-
you know them?
Yes,
'Cause I'm so
Phil-
tired of looking at all these streets that have gravel and dirt everywhere.
Phil and I have an appointment at 14:30 on Thursday to drive all these alleys, because we're putting it on the 2028 budget to do most of the all the dirt alleys in town. Because you see how they're all run out from the last storm? So we were over at 412 East Chestnut yesterday, which is one of the alleys, so we are putting together a plan for that now, for all the dirt alleys in the city.
And speaking of that, Mr. Zimmer and I had a discussion with Scott Brown, who used to work for the city. And Scott said, you don't want to just fill a pothole in an alley. He said you need to run a road grader down the alley. And I know he's mentioned that twice, because that stirs everything up and makes it more, he used to do that after high school. We haven't done that for years, have we?
It's been a while since, because we just don't have staff. We used to do it back in the 90s, when we had 45 people in public works in the street department. And we don't have that anymore.
I don't even drive on my alley except just to go to my house, because I paid for it from my house down to the street, because the rest of it's so bad.
We don't mind advertising, like you're saying, Major, for more people. We really don't. But with the way the budget is, we just haven't, because it just costs more money to add more people. And no offense, believe me, it's your job to do this, but you're questioning all the stuff that I'm surprised you're even questioning in some cases, which is common sense for someone like his in that job. So why would I even think about trying to hire more people and say, now I got another additional $100,000 for one person? Because when you add salaries in there and then healthcare, you're up to $100,000.
Is there any way to trade services with the county, because they have several road graders, where you talk about trading different things with them, is there any way you could trade with them to do some alley work?
We might be able to, but they got their own, I mean, I don't know how many miles of
I'll check.
gravel road they got, but we can check.
All righty.
Scott Brown he's discussed that with you on another occasion, right? Somebody told me that, and I was kind of shocked. We used to also take care of the trees.
Well, he's offered to do a parking lot out at Allen Park too.
What's that?
He's offered to run a road grader out and make a parking lot out at Allen Park as well. When I talked to him. Sorry, we're on.
One last question though.
Uh-huh.
What's this, all these trees that we're gonna pick up, that's gonna be a 2-month project, isn't it?
Weeks.
Weeks. We figure it'd probably take 3 weeks.
We have contractors helping us too.
It's all, really?
There's a
But,
lot down in the
but,
city.
but you
Worse
gotta,
than I thought.
yeah, but you gotta also realize, like, next week's dead week, because we will be working Freedom Fest.
Right.
I mean, our guys are roadies, they're up everywhere. And so we'll be spending all our time down here for right now, so.
You can bundle up your own stuff. That's what I did, so otherwise your grass is gonna be dead before they get to it.
How many people will be working on that?
Downtown?
No, after when you start doing the,
Oh, we'll have our two crews, so all 8 of these guys that I talked about, and then whatever, right now, we've got one contractor, another one's coming on. So hopefully we can get 3 contractors plus our crews. We have 2 different crews that we have out of the 8. We'll split them up 4 and 4.
I envision that. Will we get federal funds for that?
Yeah, so EMS, county EMS already asked for our numbers and the estimates on that, and that's what Ray's working now. He can predict with a good estimate of man hours and all that stuff in the future because of how the timeline. And we're supposed to have that at the county this week, isn't it?
Yeah, we got to have it to them tomorrow afternoon.
So he's already been working. But yes, there is money and we're submitting for it, yes.
Was this storm worse than the one we had last year?
Yes.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
They said it's the worst one in 10 years for Evergy, worst one in over 10 years. They had to ship in 150 power poles. They were broken.
What?
They had to ship in over 150 power poles to replace them. They were broken.
In Junction City?
No, just the area.
Area
So
itself.
obviously we got hit too, so.
Salina got punched. They were without power for like a week in some places.
So are we okay with moving on with the budget?
Yes.
All right.
I think
Okay. Mr. Wilcox will do the admin side of.
Thank you for everything.
Huh? Do I? I don't know. You want- Okay.
Ooh, mine's a lot easier.
Yeah.
I will let you know your paper is wrong. I was looking at the spreadsheet and I noticed that some of my numbers didn't come over. So if you look at on page 2, and if you're looking for the page number, just look at the top and the bottom. They're all over the page. Oh, sorry. Go to the other packet. Sorry. The one that has admin on the top. On page 2. And we'll start with the water plant operations. On your sheet under engineering services, engineering services, it says 0, but what's budgeted is 50,000. Underneath that, it's electric utilities. It's budgeted 0, but there's actually 300,000 budgeted.
Could I talk you into using the little line item numbers, so?
Oh, yeah. On page 2, 728 would be the first one. And that's 50,000. 736 would be the next one, which is the next line item, and it's 300,000. And then you jump down to insurance and bonds of 738, and that's 180,000. And then,
These are all, we're adding 100,000 there?
yeah, it's just not on your paper.
Okay.
Yeah, yours is blank, and I apologize for that. And then under, you'll see a big increase on contract operations, that's Veolia's contract, is half of their contract or 40% of their contract. And I combine a line item that's gonna be on page 3, I'll point that out later, but there was 791,000 that were budgeted on a line item, and I just combined the two, so it's easier to find that one contract.
So 0797 is what you're talking?
Yes, ma'am.
Do we know why these numbers are wrong?
You don't have numbers. They're not wrong. You just don't have numbers on yours. Yours are blank.
I mean, like, in general, what you're calling out so far.
Do I know why they're wrong?
Yeah, you called out that some of these numbers are incorrect, like they're represented
They're
incorrectly.
not on
in
your
our-
sheet.
They're
That's
not
what
on your
it says.
sheet.
They're not.
Okay.
They're not
okay, so
incorrect.
it's-
I'm reading from a different spreadsheet than you have.
Okay.
And I noticed that what I have here highlighted is not on the sheet that's in front of you.
Okay, so we have these numbers. Is there a way that we can also receive the copy of this spreadsheet individually?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
We can bring it to you.
thank you.
And then we're going to skip revenues on all of the enterprise funds. We're going to do the revenues for the general fund, debt service, economic development, fire reserve, and all the enterprise funds at the next budget meeting, which is on the 7th. So our 7th budget meeting would be revenues and debt. Okay, and then another correction that didn't get transferred over. So you have numbers on yours, and it's going to be on page 3, starting at 540-014-5-53400-40, that's 540. You have a number there, but it's, for some reason, it's not the correct one. I have 4,371 on 540. I have on the next one, 545, I have 20,714. On Social Security, I have 4,844, and then on Capers is 32,976. And the total of the whole personnel budget is 400,829.23 with a $353 increase overall. And
I may have you, I got lost, I'm gonna back, if you don't mind, I'm gonna back up.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about, so I caught all of them, we're gonna back up to the contract services, category 70, and you had mentioned the 0797 contract operations.
Yes.
But you had mentioned, I didn't catch what you had mentioned about.
so 59% comes out of wastewater, and the rest of it, 41% comes out of the water.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. And then if you don't, unless somebody else is okay with, can you repeat those numbers again?
Yep.
When you were mentioning the 0540, et cetera, et cetera, would you repeat those numbers again, please? The changes?
It's going to be $4,371.
And that was for 540?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
And then I'm
thanks.
just going to go down to the, right before the 9,800. I'll go in order from there.
Okay.
And it'll be 20,714.
So that's 45545 was what?
Yep, yes, ma'am.
What was it again?
20,714.
Thanks.
And then Medicare is 4,844. And Capers is 32,976.
All right, thank you.
428,829.23. And if you go down to commodities, the next category, if we haven't used it in 3 years, I just got it. There's no reason to budget it. And that's why you'll see the huge decrease from 355,250 down to 19,750.
What would commodities typically fulfill?
Office supplies, they have landscaping in here, building supplies, parts for vehicles, anything that you need to run an office, basically.
It's like the junk drawer of operating.
Yeah. And I essentially did that for the whole fund. I mean, if it hasn't been touched in years, goodbye. And so you'll see contract services, it was We budgeted in 25, $1 million, spent 441.
Could you use the number again?
The 770 contract services on page, oh, that's why you can't see it. It's at the top of page, the bottom of page 3, top of page 4.
So what was those four numbers, those last four numbers?
I was just going from the left to the right of what was budgeted in 25, what was spent, what was budgeted in 26, what was spent so far, and then what's budgeted in 27.
What's the contractor's agreement 701 for 791,000? What was that all about?
701 is the Veolia. But we're taking it out of the 797, that's why it's not budgeted for in 27.
I thought this software stuff was being moved to another category. I see it's still in this,
Software as in,
number 710. Software maintenance.
let's see what that is.
That's
14.
that's a Veolia contract. They do their own software stuff down there. This is all.
So
covered.
what could have happened, Andrew took over all of the software that he could. Certain departments kept theirs.
Yes, so I didn't touch the ones that were like the utility funds because we didn't want to deal with the transfer to the general fund for that aspect. And then certain departments, like police department has the flock cameras and different stuff like that that are strictly just for that department, so I let them keep that because they manage that, not an IT managed software.
Okay.
Where was I?
What's in category 80, capital outlay, 865,000, what would that be?
Hasn't been spent. There's nothing there. That was for 25, 26. I said if it wasn't spent in 25, 26, 24, 23, but it was budgeted, we got rid of it.
835, the next page. Page 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the 26 budget.
Yes.
What was that?
What was that?
Yeah.
What was what?
What was that expenditure?
I can't pull my notes up. Can you pull the budget notes up?
The problem is, just so you know, the categories of what we're looking at, the lines, you have to go back to page 1. You probably know this by heart.
It should be on the left side. It's right there by your pointer finger. I can see it from here.
Saying you gotta. when you
Oh, you're
look
talking
at-
about the columns.
I
Columns.
understand.
Okay.
Yeah.
I learn something every time. Next time I'll have column headings on it for you.
It's just,
I put the page numbers this time. I thought I was doing great.
One thing at a time, boss.
Yeah,
One thing at a time.
I'm taking notes.
that's okay. Go ahead.
I went back. I got a 5-year budget from, it goes back to 23. And when I was creating the enterprise funds, if we haven't used it since 23, but we budget for it, we have no intention of using it, just cut it. So that's why you'll see 84% decrease, 100% decrease, 100% where it's $1 million, $885. I mean, I was just cutting everything I can.
That makes total sense. I'm surprised.
Do you want me to keep going or you want to?
Yeah. Did you do it?
Yeah.
All right, my turn now?
Yep.
All right. All right, now, next one we'll go to is the wastewater distribution system, which would be the sewer collection.
So you gotta go back to your other packet. We thought it'd be easier to jump back and forth. That way, he's doing water, then I can finish the 2 waters. That way, he's not doing water, then sewer, then sanitation, then stormwater. And then I have to get back up there and then go back through the same ones that he just went through.
Okay. The next enterprise fund that we're going to talk about for Public Works is the wastewater distribution, which is our sewer collection system. Under the personnel, the things that are high are 0535, the medical contribution. The other one is the dental contribution. The other one is the workers' compensation and then social security. So those are what drives that fund up, and it's only 4% from last year. The next thing we'll go to is commodities. And then when you look at the biggest one here would be, looks like to me, is 0646 operational supplies. It jumped up from 20 to 25,000, and that's buying the pipes as well as the fittings for sewer. It's a whole different type of fitting you use on a sewer versus a water line, those type of things for that. The other one that's really big is parts and vehicle equipment. That jumped up from 5,000 to 15,000. We do have a vac truck added. It's very expensive for a vac truck. All the hoses that I got to buy for that, pumps, gears, that type of thing that might go wrong with that truck. That's about a $600,000 truck, and it's probably about 2-3 years old right now. And eventually, the parts are going to cost you a lot more, because when you run that jetter hose, it does wear that equipment out pretty quick. Next thing would be really high, would be the tools, which would be 0652, went from 35 to 6,000. Again, those are the various nozzles that I got to buy for the truck, that type of thing. One of those nozzles probably $300,000, $400,000, $300 to $400 a piece for each one of those type of nozzles that we knew when they wear out. The next item that would be high would be there should be subscriptions like for books and that, which would be 06666, and that went up 33%. So not real bad, from 150 to 200 to buy some equipment. Books is what we're talking about, how to put some pipes together, those type of things. So that's what that all about. If you don't have any questions on commodities, we will go to contract services. All right. The biggest item I've got here is 0728, engineering services. And then again, here we go. We're talking about when we're looking at the sewer lines and what's gone through and penetrations that are done by the fiber company, those type of things. We have to go back, look through these tapes that we've done. Those are some of the things that we do. This is the last year of our sewer cleaning. Then we take a break for a year. Then we go back the following year, which would be 28. Then we will do another contract again to video camera and clean the lines. What we're going to do this year is to work on repairing those lines that have been damaged by going through these films and looking at them. And so that's why the engineering service is up, because the guys, it's tedious work. You got to sit there and look at it, figure out where that line is, what's broke, and how we're going to fix it, and where the location is.
Some of the sewer lines are very specific. For instance, the one line we have between Smithfield and the Southwest plant, we can't camera it correctly, or I should say efficiently or fully, because they have 24-hour ops, and you can't get the camera up there. So in this case, we spent $75,000 this last year, $100,000 on repairs of a grinder coming from their plant. So July 5th, that weekend, we got to come in. They're going to close their operations for 2 hours so we can go in and do that camera. That's how hard it is during the sewer lines and stuff, trying to maintain all this stuff. So our guys got to come in on July 5th to take a look at that. They're going to close it for 2 hours to give us a window to go and check these lines.
Because they typically put out 1 million gallons of waste is what they're running through there. So,
How do you fix it if something's wrong?
We'd have to coordinate with Smithfield. They're going to close down operations.
You can't do that for 2 hours. You can't do that.
We may not have to, but that's on them. They're the only person to use that line.
right, on the industrial side.
Yeah. They're the only one, yeah, and they fight it, but it's all their stuff.
A big part of it, but I didn't only that they use that plant.
Yes, it's just the industrial line for that plant. The sanitary line goes the other way around, so.
And this is your camera that you're using, the new one?
No, they're getting that one, we put it into our camera truck right now. So, but we are using ACES. Okay, they'll run their equipment through there and do that. Like I said, if the flow was too much, we couldn't tell from the sampling station back to their gate, because the flow is too great for the camera to even be able to look in there. So they'll reduce it so we can take a look.
When that plant was put in, wasn't there some provision or an expectation that it would be used by other residential users?
No,
Never?
not on that line. Now, when you have an industrial line and you have a domestic line, all right, two different lines, and they both go to the plant, and that's how you mix it
So
together.
it's a mix at the plant.
Right, it's mixed at the plant, not in the line itself.
The good thing is they've been really good working with their headquarters, us, with them in Virginia. They've flown out numerous times that they're gonna help split the cost, whatever it's gonna take, even at the city wastewater treatment plant, to get it all fixed. They're not just burying their head in the sand.
And there is no pre-treatment there?
No, we are the pretreatment.
Yeah.
We are the pretreatment. So,
So that's probably a chat for another day with them.
right.
We're working it.
All right, so if you go to page 6, next thing again, here we go, maintain vehicles, 0746, that went up from 2,000 to 5,000. Again, that's maintain everything we got as far as the sewer maintenance equipment that we have. The next big item is 0749, other services, went from 750 to 1.2 million for 60% increase. Again, this is what we're gonna do to repair those sewer lines that we've seen, these fiber optic lines through there. And we'll have to do that, so we're putting a plan together to be able to fix X amount of lines or manholes that they've drilled through, but bored through with it.
Are we charging the contractors and or utility providers responsible for this drilling?
We will do that. We've got a letter that the city attorney has made up, and we'll send that to them, to help explain to them that this is what's gonna happen. We're gonna repair that line, and for that, then we're gonna charge you for that cost to repair that line.
Excellent.
And there's no statute of limitations or anything.
Not that I know of, so. All right, the other big items are training, traveling expenses. Again, I gotta send the guys out, but they've got to go to various classes like confined space, trenching excavation, so they know what they're doing. We have to fill out that paperwork every time we get in a hole that's deeper than 5 foot. So to make sure that they know what they're doing, I gotta have the competent person on top, and he makes sure that everybody's safe in doing that, so that's what that's for. Other than that, that's but basically it for commodities that we have, and I'd be happy to answer questions you may have.
Those trainings, are those certifications that they get when they're done?
Yeah, they'll get a certificate saying they went through this course, and then they'll get that, and then that way we'll know that that person is qualified to be able to look at that trench and go, look, it's got mud in it, and it's got water in that hole, and it's not safe to be in, you can't be in there, that type of thing.
So regarding that meeting we had today, certifications, there is some kind of financial coverage if they're veterans. So Buffy's got information on that too, so, okay.
But if you don't have any questions for me on that, I will turn it over to Mr. Wilcox, and he will go over the admin part of it.
I got admin and operations again, and it's gonna be start on page 4 in the other packet. I mean, I literally can go through all this with you, but I cut everything. You can see 100%, 54%, 100%, 80% over contract services. I can go through line item for you, but if it wasn't used in the last 3 years, I cut it. And so overall, that fund is
What's with the utilities and wastewater? 736, page 5. It's like we weren't charging or allocated towards it or something.
no, it's probably not. It's probably going to the operation side. So if you go to, is it gas utilities or electric? Yeah, it's getting charged down. It's getting charged down on bottom of page 5, 737 and 736. Do you see it at the very bottom?
We just were allocated to it before.
Yeah. So a lot of these are repetitive, and it goes, you have electricity for Public Works, you got electricity for the wastewater, you got electricity for basically everything. Every GL has electricity. For simplicity, we just consolidated.
Okay.
I mean, I figured it's there, I mean, it's just a little bit all over the wood.
Yeah. It's lumped all into the operations side. And then what I want to point out is there's literally nothing to point out because everything was cut.
Can you go through 1102 on page 4?
Yep, page 4. Is it the 885? Yep. 885 for transfer to other funds. So let's see what was transferred the last year. It was transferred to the general fund. So it's budgeted for 885, but they've only transferred 485 each time, and all the way up back to 2021. So, and I think I took that out. Nope, it's still there, 485. No, I took it out because we're not doing transfers this year. We're not doing any utility transfers from utility funds. There's water, wastewater, sanitation, and we transfer to the general fund. And that was part of the presentation they gave last week, that we're not going to do the transfers from the enterprise to the general fund anymore. I did.
54, 100, 1102, what's that?
Is that for 735? Yeah, it's for 735. You're right.
Yeah.
I see it. And then these next two enterprise funds are going to be very easy. I'll let you do your stormwater and then sanitation, and then you can have a signal take over. I'll do sanitation, stormwater, and then do the admin.
Okay.
All right.
Works for me. All right. What we have on our Public Works is the last two would be, one is the last one is a storm, second to last one is a stormwater utility fund.
What page are you on?
It was
Six.
page 6.
Other packet.
So under the stormwater utility fund, we do have one personnel in there that is in there. And then what we have here, the high points are the workman's comp insurance, and what else is there? Unemployment compensation, that's the biggest thing that causes, and the medical. And that's what's the high rate for that, but that's a decrease of -6%. When you go to commodities, the biggest increase is 0645, which is the oil, antifreeze, grease. They pay for part of the street sweeper as part of that fund. They pay for part of that as well. And then 0682 is uniforms. We pay for the uniforms for the city employees, like their T-shirt and for the boots, that type of thing. That's what we buy for them there. So if you have any questions on commodities, we will go to contract services, and the biggest item there, the two biggest items, 0728, which happens to be the engineering services, went from 250,000 to 300,000. That's only a 20% increase. And the other is 0749. Other services went from 75 to $1,075,000. And that's basically what that is for the stormwater pipes and stuff that we do. We have to do some realigning on some of that stuff. Classic examples, when we get ready to do the parking lot here, we're gonna redo that storm drainage right out here. So I can take that signal out, because that signal does not meet 88 requirements. That's why we're taking that signal out. It costs us too much to do that. So we'll restructure that storm drainage in there, that type of thing. We had some issues here with this storm drain in here, so we'll put a new storm drain pipe in here to take care of the water off this building. So you're talking some of that money there. Some of the testing is very high. We gotta supply 4 tests a year, and they're over $1,500 a test that we do to meet our MS4 requirements for KDHE. So that's why that one's so high. And then again, the training and traveling expenses is spread out between all 6 departments. And I'd be happy to answer questions you may have as far as contract services.
What did you mean by signaling? You mentioned.
Oh, that traffic signal here?
Oh, traffic, thank you,
Yeah,
sorry. Okay.
that one, that's coming out, but we have waited because when we reconstruct everything here, I have to wait to be able to pull all that out of there.
Yeah, 'cause we ordered for that several years ago.
And,
We're also kind of wondering why it wasn't stuck.
yeah, we're just kind of waiting, because we want to bump them curbs out on the south side of 8th Street, so that will reduce the flow of the traffic, because right now, everybody just zooms through it, right? I'll slow it down and give you a shorter distance for pedestrians to walk across there with, and give them a little bit better ability to get to the other side of the street without having too much problems. But I'd be happy to answer any questions you have as far as commodities. Okay, thanks. We will now go to the sanitation fund, which is on page 7. And for the most part, everything in personnel is a reduction as far as what we pay for contributions on our side of it. We will go to commodities. Biggest thing there, we've got 0611, 0611, which is welding and supplies. Unfortunately, when the trucks, they get beat up, we have to do some welding on the body to make sure they hold up. Operational supplies, 0646, same thing, buying materials to be able to do that. And you got motor fuel went up 50%, 0648, from 20 to 30,000. Like again, running those trucks every day on the road, and diesel fuel's gone. It has started to come down, but it was very high at one time there. Let's see here. That'll be another big one. Uniforms and miscellaneous supplies, they've gone up a little bit. Again, uniforms respond to t-shirts and that type of thing, boots. And I'd be happy to answer questions on commodities if you got anything there. If not, I will move on to contract services. Okay, contract services side, the biggest thing there is we got the medical expenses. That's for shots like their hepatitis B, since they do mess with some very nasty stuff in the trash. And then the biggest item on this thing, if you turn to page 8, is 0749. That went up 60%. Went from 595 to 650,000, and that's because our trash weight went from $64 to $76 a ton, and I do anywhere between 8,000 to 8,500 tons a year.
They raised the rate on us at the end of last year in like December without telling us after our budget season. I think we're up 18% or something like that.
Yeah,
Who's they?
county,
Yeah,
they control the transfer station.
Figured. Just wanted to check.
I don't know if it was county. I talked to Trish about it. It was the people that accept it. They raise it on everybody, like the landfill operator, whoever the landfill, the private contractor runs the landfill, not the county. I talked to Trish about it because she felt the same pain we did. It was after all our budget was done, then they raised it 18%, which is why I started the conversation about having an incinerator in the region, which is one of the things we're talking about in Kansas City next week with USDA.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions you have on the contract services side.
Guess we can keep going. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you.
Ray's such a good sport. He just stood up there the whole time. I would have sat down. Where'd you leave off at? Sanitation?
Yes.
Okay. So we're in the home stretch. We have sanitation left, and then we have the admin budget, and we'll be done. Yeah, stormwater sanitation admin. It'll be on the bottom of page 6. You got it?
I did. Thank
Okay.
you.
All right. The next two, the stormwater for the admin side, is going to be easy, same with sanitation. If you don't know, the admin department, and there's other select few employees that get paid from the department, a certain percentage, and then the rest comes out of the 4 utility funds. So when you asked, why does the stormwater have a personnel budget? Ray has people that work for stormwater, and that's his side of it, and then we have within the city, I want to say it's like 12 people that get paid out of stormwater, and that's what this is. This is the admin's portion. That's what they call it. The biggest thing that you'll see is on the personnel side, there is a 23% increase, which is roughly $25,000. That comes from a mixture of using the right
Could you
calculation.
say the numbers? I get.
Oh, I was just doing the whole fund, the whole personnel.
Oh, thank you, sorry,
Yeah.
okay.
So you said 12 people get paid out of the stormwater fund?
I can tell you the exact number. $17 get paid out of water. 19 get paid out of wastewater. I was wrong. 18 get paid out of stormwater. And 19 get paid out of solid waste, which is sanitation. Solid waste. Yeah, sanitation.
I'm just curious why it's set up that way. Interested, more than anything.
Because the people that are getting paid out of this are not profit. They don't have any way to generate revenue for the city. So admin, how are we going to bring in funds to pay our salaries? Whereas codes has blights, golf has golf fees, parks have rental fees, admin, IT. I mean, IT's the biggest budget buster. They don't have any way to make money. So I set up what long before I got here, but the percentages are not crazy. It's 10% out of solid waste, which is 23, the fund 23. Fund 18, the average is 10% again, and then your wastewater is 25%, and then same with water. And then the rest comes out of the general fund. And then, again, commodities, we're just going to do the whole thing as a whole. It's a 20% decrease. We cut postages down to 20,000, and then we're not even budgeting for computer software. Didn't budget anything for contract services. The good thing is you'll see 268, 949, 61, and when I go to that for my month end, those are actually posted to the wrong GL, so I'll do a correction at the month end. So
I just
when
got lost at last little bit. What-
I need like a mic.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
We'll get through this together.
Okay, where was I? Oh, okay, so. Sorry.
One of those like school projectors, you know, where you put it and then it like puts it and you follow around.
Do you have one? If you have one, I'll use it.
I'll acquire one.
Yeah, I'll use it. That'll be easier because then you can see what I'm looking at in my little chicken scratch notes. But it's getting late. I don't want to get sidetracked. So I do have Fund 701 and 728 are not budgeted for 27, but they are marked. When I do my month end this month, I'm going to move those to the correct GL where it goes. And so when you get the overall budget, I'll have the notes of what was moved where. And then, like I said, we'll talk about revenues. Well, that's sanitation. Is there any questions about stormwater before I move on? No? Sanitation is, I mean, it's clean cut as well. There's an increase in salaries on the sanitation side. There's a decrease in commodities and another decrease in contract services.
Any questions?
So now let's get to the good stuff, the admin's budget. So our department's admin, then we have a sub-department, which is gonna be HR, and they'll be on page 2 in the middle, but we'll go down the line. The biggest things I want to point out is that I'll just point out the changes that you'll see, and I did a little thing different well, let me not jump ahead. On salaries, we did some cuts. Well, I mean, you can't even look at that first one because we never paid overtime, so we just took it out. There's a decrease in part-time salaries, which doesn't even make sense. It should be a wash. So one of those numbers not right. It's either 44,400 or 44,000. We didn't give. So part-time salary is your guys' salary if you didn't know. So everything that we pay that you do, if you go for a conference, it'll come out of the admin's budget, whether it's travel, your computer comes out of the admin's budget, postage, if we have to pay you for postage, comes out of the admin's budget. So your budget is our budget as well. Just point out that they increased 16% on the salary side, and then from there on, I just went through the budget and just start cutting stuff again. As you can, we're not gonna go through the line items, we'll just go through funds. So you'll see that the commodities has a 18% decrease, which is $6,700. And then the good part is, for tracking, I did this only for tracking purposes only. When you go to the page 2, another thing I want to point out is that, well, I'm going to point it out on page 2, and then I'll go back to page 1 to tell you why I did that. So page 2, I took all appropriations that we paid in the past and basically created them a line item as if we were going to give them money. That way, when you ask me, hey, what did we give Main Street last year? I'm not having to go to the vendor, type in Main Street, and then go through their transactions to see what the city paid. I can actually go to this GL, click it, and it tells me right there. So I only created 2 new GLs, and that was Adabuzz and Fresh Start. The cemetery was already, they already get annual contributions, they were already a GL, and then Juneteenth was already in there from whenever they set this up. So although the money's although it's there, doesn't mean that you have to agree with it, because I put what they request, with the exception of Adabuzz, I only put the 50,000. If you change your mind and want to do that, if you want to up it, just let me know and I can update it. But MAG, I did 94,000, and then Main Street 100, Opera House 179, and then Fresh Start Cemetery 60, and then Juneteenth. So Fresh Start and Adabuzz used to come out of our 749 line item. So we would budget, that's why that line item kept going up year over year. We used to budget 150, then it went to 200, then it went to 300. And as you can see, we moved those to their individual line items, and then we dropped down the 749 line item back to 200,000, which is where we normally are. And then HR has a small budget, very few line items, 5 line items, and it's basically they have a wellness program, and then they have travel and training expenses, and they also have HR dues. But outside of that, overall, personnel is a 16% increase, commodities is an 18% decrease, contract services is a 23% increase, and that's due to consolidating or separating the line items. And then HR is only a 2% increase. And I can answer any question about the admin budget.
This is just a general question about the budget. Do industries or businesses or communities, do they ever give incentives if internally there's a unique way to reduce a cost of something? For instance, when we had the card fee for water, does the city ever do anything like that where, like within an organization, within HR, within fire department, if they say, oh gee, this might be a better way, we could save some money. I think some of the places I worked at did that.
We don't do that, and if I wanted to do something like that, I'd have to do it through commissioner's permission, but we haven't done that in the past.
Have
I've
you-
done things like give them my business card saying you earned an extra PTO day or something like that. I've awarded them that way, things like that, but not cash or whatever like you might be referring to.
Yeah, and I don't really know what I'm referring to. I just was curious if you've ever been anywhere, you know, because like when I'm in a physical therapy department of a hospital, I'll think, oh, this is a neat idea. So I didn't know if you'd ever come across
Well,
that.
those are private entities. We deal
Okay.
mostly with taxes, so
Okay.
we do not give money out to employees, tax money, et cetera. That's why we don't do that. We try not to cross that line
Okay.
at all.
Okay, thank you.
But our insurance company does something similar to that, where they have with workman's comp, I wanted to make sure I get it right. I'm just gonna say with one of our insurance companies, we'll just call it Carrot, it's KERIT. They'll give us 5% rebate on our premium. But we have to have a wellness program, a safety committee, and there's 3 other things that we have to have. They'll give us a 5% rebate plus discounts on top of that if we continue to do the wellness program, the safety committee, and to prove that we have those active committees. Last year, it equated back to $67,000 that we could have put back into a wellness program. And then the rebate our insurance gives us for keeping our claims down on the auto and liability side, that totaled about $40,000. So that's $100,000 that came back to the city, but we didn't have anything we were pressing, so we just told them to credit the account and use it as a discount on the next year's premium.
Thank you. All right.
Here to answer any questions. So I will say this, next meeting will be, we only have an hour and I'm gonna have to go fast, but it's revenues of all accounts of revenue that the city's gonna receive. Then we'll talk about general fund, debt service, eco development, economic development, fire reserve, and those are our tax levy accounts in the library. And then from there, we'll talk about our debt, and then we'll talk about how we can get a balanced budget.
Can we have those up front next time?
Which one?
What you're gonna go over?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Remember last year, you did that one-page document that showed how much was in investments, and it was a one-page sheet. Can we have something like that for the next meeting, pass out to the commissioners? Because I had some commissioners ask me about that.
Okay.
Thanks.
So what did you want up front that I didn't give you this time?
I'm sorry.
What did you want up front that I didn't give you this time?
What you're talking about, what you're gonna have.
Okay.
Yeah,
So just right now, if the meeting starts.
yeah.
Oh,
Within
We're
the agenda.
jumping through these, we've never seen them.
He's done.
That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So for clarification, I feel like we're done with A, B, and C, and we're ready to move on to new business. Consideration of ordinance and by the way, thank you. Consideration of ordinance number R3151, establishing employee positions within city staffing.
I would like to table that until after we have the executive session. Because of the concern that I have about adding a staff position that may already be contracted to do in the future, specifically the military liaison. I expressed that last time. Things are developing every day on that front. On the master agreement, we have a commitment to MAC. We have someone that's resigned today from the chamber direction. There's a lot of things up in the air. That's my understanding, correct? Someone just resigned today. I just think that adding a position for a military liaison when we already have a structure of the MAC committee is a mistake. I don't want to end up paying twice under the other agreement that we have with the MAC. So that's why I think maybe going into executive session with these developments might be important. So that's
So
why-
we're not tabling it, we're just switching the order, correct? We're just
Yeah, I'm
moving, so.
tabling it until after the executive session.
Okay, I don't think that needs a vote. I think we can just shift
No,
it
you need to
around.
vote
I
on
think
this,
you do.
this one here. So first off is, even if you add the position now, it doesn't mean you have to fill it. We would wait until the whole MAC thing worked out, and if it came to that, we would. Second, on the fees, we're giving them $94,000 a year, which is $8,000 a month. My plan is to go back and bill the MAC for the stuff that Command Sergeant Major Wilson is doing for the city right now. So the city's not going to lose the money.
Yeah, but
We are, go ahead.
How can you, sir, how can you say you're gonna bill them when you don't have an agreement with them?
Oh, it's easy. I'm going to give him an invoice.
What's that?
I'm going to give him an invoice.
Yeah,
They got our city money, the position's blank, there's nobody in it, I don't even know if it's advertised, so I'll bill them.
I can bill them right now.
I think the mayor just meant,
So-
we
so-
don't need
so-
to make a motion to table. Can she just say we're going into executive session and then? we'll
Oh, yeah,
do
she can do the exact same, I'm just saying that if you approve someone here, it doesn't mean I'm gonna hire him immediately.
So,
it means that you have that discretion unbridled, despite all these other developments that are going on between the chamber, the EDC, and I just don't think it's a wise thing to do.
so Commissioner Panera, I think you just said, for now, just switch the order is what I heard you say. And therefore, I don't think we need a vote on switching the order. I think we can just switch the order, and we can go ahead and move on to number 4, to go into executive session.
I move that the commission recesses for an executive session to include the city manager, finance director, and the city attorney for 20 minutes at 7:46 to discuss matters regarding contract known as the master agreement of the Junction City Chamber of Commerce. The justification for the executive session is for consultation with the city attorney and is deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship and is provided by KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting is to resume in this room at 8:07.
And did I hear you say start at 7:46, and therefore we come back?
7:47.
7:47 to 8:07, correct? Yeah. Okay. It's been so, excuse me, it's been so moved. Is there a
It
second?
was already seconded by Commissioner Premier.
Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. I'm sorry, I need help on it.
Mayor, are you ready? Move to return to executive session where no decisions were made and no actions were taken.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Did you motion again?
Oh, whole thing. I move that the commission recesses for an executive session to include the city manager, finance director, and the city attorney for, anybody?
10
15
minutes.
minutes?
15? I'm good with 15.
15 minutes at 8:07 PM to discuss matters regarding contract known as Master Agreement of the Junction City Area Chamber of Commerce. The justification for the executive session is for consultation with the city attorney and is deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship and is provided by KSA 75-4319B2. The open meeting is to resume in this room at
8:22.
8:22.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
Always add a minute to your watch.
that? All I had to eat today was a protein bar.
So that, you know, that no one opens it. They take it when they make it.
I might tell y'all a joke, I won't tell y'all a lie. I'm sorry. Got a little personal pizza from
Yes. Move to return from executive session where no decisions were made and no actions were taken.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. So moving on to any further comments or
Mr. Stites, you look like you're about to present some information.
Well, since there's been talk about the Chamber of Commerce Master Agreement, in a little bit of research, did find out that there is I want to make sure I get it right. So I'm going to pull up here and read it. There's a part of your ordinances as a city that would, if the chamber agreement was canceled or terminated and became effective in that cancellation or termination, there it is. Unless the city gives notice of termination or cancellation under 110080, that former reestablished Joint Economic Development Commission would reestablish itself and become effective. And so that's the thing is, it just seems like a thing that would maybe muddy the water if you do one thing, try to restructure stuff or make a new agreement, and then out from below or the grave or whatever, this old Joint Economic Development Commission reestablishes itself. So I just wanted you to be aware of that.
So, in essence, you've located another ordinance that was never repealed, even though the new master agreement and ordinance was passed, Mike. Is that a good summary?
This old ordinance, these old set of ordinances was put in place in 2012. There's a master agreement done then. The master agreement in 2012 was then amended in 2018, and now we're discussing it now here in 2026. So what it looks like here is if the current master agreement is canceled, terminated, it reverts back to this Joint Economic Development Commission in terms of EDC with slightly different makeup and all that good stuff, unless you give proper notice under 110080.
So as our legal advisor, you suggest that we follow the process to finish off that old ordinance?
Yes,
Is that a good way to say it, or?
I would recommend that because the big thing here is if you're trying to create something that's good and effective and operationally appropriate for the community, it doesn't help to have other things that are out there that muddy the water and make it unclear what the actual organization or entity is.
So the action is to repeal the prior ordinance?
That'd be my recommendation, yes.
Repeal the prior ordinance.
Yep, because there are about 10 ordinances that all make up this one. So I'd make that you repeal it, but before you do that, you'd have to give notice to the county, because they have a corresponding resolution with that.
Is this an ordinance?
Yes, it's ordinances.
No, is it the ordinance that we would repeal?
Yes, you'd have to.
So we have to have a roll call vote?
You have to have an actual ordinance in front of you. So right now, you just have to give the notice. If you want to repeal it later, after you give notice, then you can. So right now, if there was to be a vote, it'd be a vote to authorize me to give notice to the county that you want to cancel or terminate these ordinances and the corresponding resolution of theirs that matches this.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? And one of the discussion questions I have is, would you address any timelines that we need to be aware of?
I would need to give notice prior to July 1st of this year to become effective by December 31st of this year. Now, you gave prior notice on the current master agreement. That was before July 1st of this year. That would need to be before December 31st of next year. But if you're going to clean house, you may as well clean house, is my analogy there.
Is there any further discussion? It's been moved and, excuse me, I got it backwards. If there's no further discussion?
And this is an ordinance or a resolution?
This would be a regular vote as an emotion or resolution, so you can just do a vote. Because you're not actually voting to repeal it, you're voting to give notice that you want to repeal it.
So just a regular vote.
Correct.
So if there's no further discussion, all those in favor respond by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries.
And I'll notify the county of that.
Thank you. And therefore, I think we need to go back to new business now. Thank you, Mr. Stites. And then for new business, consider, oh, excuse me, I got it backwards. Under the budget, I was thinking, I
Madam Mayor, I
apologize.
think you want to go back to that resolution, is it 3151 or whatever it is? I
Yeah,
have
there it is.
I've had brief talks with Mr. Wilson, who's filling in the military liaison contractor position, and he and I are going to work on an addendum to extend it regardless of how you vote on this. And then we're also going to work on a way to talk with the chamber and the county regarding funding of that as well.
So in other words, we could also enter into an agreement to seek reimbursement from the chamber for any expenses incurred for that position.
So long as they agree, yes, we can enter into any agreement, yes.
But
Yes.
just sending them a bill could be dangerous, I would think. Without-
I'll reach out to their council and see if we can do an agreement for the reimbursement.
So in regards to new business, where do we want to go with A, consideration? Do we want to still table that? Do we want to discuss
City
with the
manager.
MAC position?
Can we table it? Would you be okay with that, sir? I know this is something that you,
Or can we bring it forward with MAC removed from it? Or how should we, I welcome your advice.
There's no showstoppers on here, put it that way. There's no showstoppers on here. If you're still gonna take care of Mr. Wilson and the MAC position through the agreement you mentioned, that's covered. The other positions on here can be tabled, so that's fine. We can do it at the next meeting.
So we've addressed all areas of concern at this time, and we're okay to delay a little bit.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Therefore,
move to table that issue until we return to it, if we need to.
and I don't think we need a second, right?
Yes.
We do. It's been moved in second to table new business A. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. We'll move on to public comment, of which there is none. And so is there,
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor respond by saying
Aye.
aye. Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I have pesto pizza if y'all want. You choose slice. Feel human again.